that's another story.
Diversity, not a shrine for censorship. And you can all get mad. You can all get mad and upset, and you can still listen and respect other people. And you will notice that we are running the gamut of subjects, opinions, religions, and colors here at the Roseanne Show, because that's what the world is all about, okay? And I promise to try to get to all of your personal hot buttons sooner or later, because you all deserve to be heard. I got hundreds of emails from animal rights activists, okay, because, you know, I said something about I like fur. And, you know, and so I'm going to have them on anti-fur people this week, because they can tell me what I do wrong, and I'll listen. You know, it's not guaranteed that at the end I'm going to agree, but maybe I will. I'm not stuck, you know. I got stacks of emails about finding biological parents, and we're going to do a show on adoption in January, because, you know, that's a personal issue with me. We got email about a guy who needs, well, you'll just have to watch our show during February sweeps to find out what that's about. It's so amazing, though. So I thank all of you who've taken the time to get involved, because I feel like by getting involved and staying involved, we're going to make things happen. But if you want me to read your emails, it better not be nasty, because I do not have time to let any hate into my head. Right? You can be critical and you can disagree, but I'm not going to even read any name-calling, mean-spirited stuff. I'm not even going to look at any disgusting generalizations of whole groups of people, because I'm telling you, we can discuss race without being racist. We can discuss politics without getting political. We can discuss absolutely anything, but we're going to do it without resorting to verbal violence, because verbal violence starts in the mind, and it ultimately, I believe, leads to violence in the world. So, let's agree to disagree, okay? It's okay not to toe the party line. This is America. I do not want the world to blow up, so the best thing that I can do to prevent that is to change the part of me that blows up. As it, you know, because it says in the Bible, as it is above, so it is below, and that's what that means. Let's talk to each other. Up next, the hot-blooded, sexy, and controversial Geraldo Rivera shows us his butt, so stay with us. When he uncovered Al Capone's secret vault, my next guest hosted the highest-rated syndicated special in television history. And when he investigated Elvis Presley's death, the result was the most-watched episode of 2020 ever. Now he hosts Rivera Live, the most popular show on CNBC, and he's got the best butt in TV news. I am so pleased. Why did you put that in there? I've never seen your butt. I apologize for that.
You want me to turn around?
Yeah.
I get flashy right now.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah, all right, get a quick flash. You got to hide the mice.
Oh, yeah, that's an excellent butt. Thank you, Geraldo.
Okay.
Here he is.
Any other body
Geraldo
parts,
Rivera.
just let me know as they are.
Oh, well, we'll get to that.
Okay.
Here we are with Geraldo Rivera via satellite in New York. Exciting. This is my first satellite thing.
How's it feel?
It's pretty cool. It's really cool to have you on, because you are an idol of mine, definitely.
Well, same goes for me.
Oh, BS, but check this out. I watch you every day from the OJ thing, and, you know, you carried the whole country through that. Do you have any parting shots or anything you'd like to say on that before we go anywhere?
Well, just that O.J. Simpson is the luckiest man on the face of the earth. He got away with brutal double homicide, and he knows it. The world knows it. Maybe he doesn't know it anymore. I don't even know.
Oh, he knows it. I think he knows it.
But it was just terrible. What he did was catastrophic. It was catastrophic for race relations. It exposed the criminal justice system as two-tiered. You know,
Right.
Poor people get one justice,
Right.
rich people get another one.
Oh,
He
I'm
played
so
the
glad
race
you...
card terribly.
But then you, like, totally support him keeping his kids. How do you go there in your head?
Well, I'm not totally supporting him keeping his kids. I think The kids love him. He's been a good father. I think the court was absolutely right to reverse the custody decision because they have to consider what could be more relevant than the fact that he killed their mother.
Right,
And that's
and
how he
her
got
friend.
custody. I think it's a tragedy in the sense that the kids are the ones who have to now go through another trauma. Simpson says that if they live with their grandparents, who are wonderful people, the Browns, I know them very well, as you know.
Yeah.
If the kids go to live with the Browns, O.J. says they will believe that he killed their mother. That's true, but I think they'll come to believe that, as the rest of us have anyway, as they get older and learn all the facts.
In one way, it was good that it exposed all the secrets we have about race in America, too.
Good, but, you know, that's a sore that's going to be slow in healing. I just did a documentary about how cops and black people, how it's so different than cops and white people.
Right.
And the fact is that our country's most egregious internal problem is racism. And I don't know when we're ever going to get over it.
I don't know, but you know this thing about Jefferson and the DNA and all that with Sally?
I love that.
Do you think that, you know, the woman he loved, everybody says his slave, but the truth of it is that that was the woman he loved, and he left this country to live with her in Paris. So, you know, I don't like when people always go, oh, his slave, because he loved her.
Obviously, and he was also, as it turns out, one of the founding father was also one of the founding hypocrites of the country, because if you read Jefferson's writings, he talks about the interrelationship between slave and master in a very scornful tone. He also talks about how black people are in some way subordinate to and inferior to white people. Right. When he said, you know, the people are created equal, he meant the white people are created equal, and here all the time his paramour and some of his children, obviously, at least one, the DNA suggests, were of multiracial origin.
Well,
but I really think
don't you think that he had to, you know, I mean, if I'm going to, like, really go in here and get dangerous with you for a minute, Geraldo.
Get dangerous.
It's like somebody defending Clinton now. It's like you defending Clinton now to me, because Clinton does the same thing. He mouths what everybody expects him to mouth, and then all the people that like are around him and protect him constantly look the other way from his actual deeds. So he's pretty close to Jefferson in that way.
I've been listening to the Monica Lewinsky tapes and listening to her mouthing and the treacherous trip mouthing. I was thinking that maybe we should have a Mount Rushmore for all these femme fatales. Have Sally Hemings up there, have Monica Lewinsky, Jennifer Flowers, you know.
Well, you know, it is women
the other ones from the other presidents.
But it is really the women who actually influence the, you know, all cultural changes, right?
I think that women play, certainly in my life, women have played a very profound role. My wife now, you know, she's really the Machiavellian character. She's directing me through life. Well, I don't know, more or less.
Hold on, Geraldo. Let me go to commercial, then we come back and go to that, because I really want to hear what you have to say.
Okay.
When we come back, more dish with our own Geraldo, who we love. Geraldo, you had sex with interns when you did your TV show, and you wrote about it in your book and everything, right?
I didn't name them, but I was a younger man then.
And then you,
yeah,
like...
people have sex. Wait, let me just say. People have sex when people are cheating.
Yeah.
People have sex when they can have sex.
Right.
If you work in an office, whether the office is oval or oblong or rectangular, people have sex under the desk, in the closet, on the way to Dunkin' Donuts in the back of the jalopy.
Right.
There's almost desperation about illicit sex. It is.
Well, you're somebody who knows firsthand what's that about. Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about it? What is the desperation?
Sex?
What is the desperation males have, especially powerful males? What's the desperation about getting, like, waitresses and interns and all that? What's that about, Geraldo?
Well, I could flip it and ask what's the feeling in the waitress or the intern. I don't believe that what compels people to romance or what drives people sensually is that different between men and women when there is a connection.
But it is. No, it is, Geraldo.
No, I don't know. I don't know that. I think that there are type A women as well as type A men, and I think women are flattered maybe. There are other women who are as predatory as many men.
Well, that's true.
I believe that it's not that unequal. You know, in the Monica situation, I really do believe that Clinton buying all these gifts, doesn't that suggest to you that this was a man to whom romance was part of the equation as well as sex?
I think he loved her, Geraldo.
I do too.
My opinion.
I do too.
You do?
Why else do you buy these little love poems and these little gadgets from, you know, the black dog on Martha's Vineyard. This is not a man who's
No.
being abusive.
I
This
think
is a
he
man
loved her,
who
and I think she
is
loved
having
him.
a sophomore crush on
Right.
a kid who's got big eyes and is compliant in every way and
Right.
sensual in her way.
Right.
You know, I think there was really a love connection there.
I
in the
do
old
too.
TV
I think
show.
he has a thing for fat Jewish chicks, and I want him to call me.
That's right. I've gone through that phase myself.
You went through a fat Jewish thing? That's awesome.
Matter of fact, I have your number right here.
Geraldo, how do I improve my ratings? You know, I'm in trouble over here. I need some help. You are the king of that, and you've already gone through all the tombs, so I can't do that. I loved when you had those Nazis on and they broke your nose, and then
That's
you
right.
put... Should I do the fat injection from my butt to
That'd
my
be good.
forehead?
That'd be good. Or maybe, you know what they do with that fat now? They make your boobs bigger. Maybe you can go that way.
Honey, my boobs cannot be any bigger than they are.
Okay. You said it. I didn't say it.
But any ideas, Geraldo? Seriously.
I
How
think that...
come you are so on the mark is what I'm trying to get. Why are you so on the mark of what everybody wants to see? Do you hear it in your head or do you feel it in your body? How are you so on, you know, right in the gestalt of it all?
My secret has been, to the extent that I have any secret, most news anchors, when I first got into the business almost 30 years ago to today, feel, if only subconsciously, a kind of superiority. At least it is apparent that they do.
Right.
And they kind of stand on top of a Mount Olympus there,
Right.
and they look down at all the people, and they lecture down and say, this is what happened today, this
Right.
is why you should care about it. I never did that. Maybe it's because of my humble upbringing, but I always saw the news at the level that it happened. I always saw people at the, you know, eye to eye. I've always, you know, I've been very poor and I've been quite prosperous. I've lived at every ladder, every step in the ladder, that social economic ladder. And I feel, you know, I'm one of the people in a sense. I think people relate to me. They know I'm not
Well, I
conning
think
them.
that's why we identify with you. That's definitely why I do.
My
because
heart is right here, obviously.
Also, you've never sold out. I mean, you've gone the way you needed to go at different times, but you never sold your heart out for, you know,
And
any price.
It's caused me pain at various times in my
Can
life.
I ask you about that? Because I want to be really nosy, because this is what I really find intriguing. Can I go
What?
there?
Sure, go ahead, anywhere.
Because you were going to do a whole story on the Kennedys, and that busted you down to, they stopped you
They
and
stopped me,
busted
they
you down
fired
to nothing. And you had to come back up from that.
Well, it's, you know, it was funny. It happened when I was 42 years old. I got fired from ABC after 15 years, and I thought that was going to be my life at ABC News.
Yeah.
And my father got fired from, he was in charge of all the Puerto Rican pot washers in the cafeteria in the defense plant on Long Island.
Yeah.
And after he had worked for 15 years, he got fired
Wow.
at the age of 42 also.
Wow.
And at the age of 42, my father became an old man. He became, his shoulders kind of sagged. He got shorter. It was terrible to watch a proud Puerto Rican man like that being broken. And I made the pledge to myself when I got fired by Roone Arledge at ABC News in 1985 that I was not going to be my father, that I was going to get to a place where no one would have the power to fire me. No one would have the power to hurt me the way my dad had been hurt. And that was one of the secret driving forces that really helped me put together the daytime talk show, put together those syndicated specials, and helped kind of propel me back to where, at a time when really it was of my choosing, I could say, now I want to go back to the network news business. Now I want to go back to my roots. That's my first love. It's also my hobby, my avocation, as well as my profession.
But you did come back to it in your own terms and in your own way.
I did, and I'm, you know, I couldn't be happier about that. You know, it's funny to have your dreams come true. Now, on the other hand, you know, it's not like having your own show where I could have 4 months off or 5 months off and go sailing on my boat. Now I got to show up every day. It's like a government job, you know. So here I am, I'm working.
Thank you so much, Geraldo. It was
I love you, honey.
It was great having you.
Good luck to you, I really do.
Thank you very much.
Okay, bye.
Bye. We'll be right back after this.
Have you heard what critics are saying about the Roseanne show? Time magazine says Roseanne can be appealingly authentic.
Hello!
The New York Times writes, surprisingly smart and winning. A mix of sharp topical conversation, occasional comedy sketches, and social work without sentimentality.
All right.
Entertainment Weekly says Roseanne remains endlessly fascinating. It's fun to watch her. See what all the buzz is about on The Roseanne Show.
today is Beverly Hills plastic surgeon, Dr. Frank Ryan. He's going to tell us how people stay so young and perfect looking. Welcome, Dr. Ryan.
Thank you. Thank you.
What's the most common, plastic surgery thing that people get in Hollywood?
The #1 procedure is liposuction,
Oh, yeah.
far and away.
Yeah.
Breast augmentation is #2.
I've had the liposuction, and I had a breast reduction. Have you done those?
Oh, yeah, it's very common as well.
Is it?
But I'd have to say liposuction, breast augmentation, and facelifts, I guess, are the top 3.
Yeah, I had a facelift too. And then I got my eyes done too because I didn't have any eyelids. Look how good he did.
Looks beautiful.
Yeah, and under the eyes and then the whole.
You look great.
The whole facelift thing. But I got it about 5 years ago. How long do you think it's going to last me?
I quote patients 7 to 10 years.
7 to 10 years?
Yeah, you made another one 7 to 10 years.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll do another one because it's hard. It's hard to.
It's major surgery. It really is.
It is major. I got one more if I was going to have my plastic surgery wish list. I have one more thing that I really want done, but, my husband is just so opposed to me doing any more because, there's nothing left of me except for a spine. And, that's originally there. But no. We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Because you'll advise me
All
on
right.
what I'm going to do about my butt.
Okay.
Basically, I need a butt implant. I really, really do. And they don't even do it in this country, I hear, hardly.
It's done. It is done, but not as frequently as some other things. I'll explain why.
Okay, well, go ahead before we do. Tell me why.
Well, I think for one thing, it's a relatively uncomfortable area, obviously.
Yeah, to get...
You're always sitting
Yeah.
on it, so the recovery period's a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But
How long would the recovery period be?
Well, it depends on the method. There are implants, as we
Yeah.
discussed, silicone implants.
Show us the butt
And
implants there.
Here's a buttock implant.
Because I have no butt at all. I just have a crack in my back. That's all I have. And I want butt cheeks. I don't have any butt cheeks.
Well, these are slipped in, one per side, obviously, slipped in through the center, and they're slipped in sort of like breast implants, as a matter of fact. And they do, as you can see, augment the buttock.
Give
to
you
a certain
like
extent.
a more
Give
rounded...
you more of a bubble butt type of appearance.
See,
Yeah.
I've always wanted to buy a butt my whole life. I always had a flat butt, and I have a total flat head too, but I don't think I need any. I mean, I have not even a curve in the back of my. No. Now, what are these? These are the breast.
These are breast implants.
These are the
right.
gooey kind,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
The butt ones are more,
The buttock implant. Yeah, this
is gooey.
Yeah, this is solid. That's gooey. Has gel in the inside, silicone gel.
Yeah, but
and
you
this
say
has-
you think they leak.
Well, not necessarily, but like any man-made device, potentially. They work
Right.
very well. Yeah,
Yeah.
They're very...
This one's got water in it.
Yeah, it has saline and silicone in that one.
Could you hear it like doing this when you were like dancing? That'd be kind of embarrassing. But anyway, now we'll get back to my personal rear end issues.
Okay.
But I understand that you brought some of your patients for us
That's
to
right.
look at. So let's fire up that plastic surgery catwalk and tell us about patient number 1, Steve Ryder, and his liposuction.
Well, Steve Ryder had liposuction using one of these tubes called a cannula. And
That's
it looks a little scary.
little.
This is small. This is even smaller. We use this for the face, but essentially we make tiny incisions. We place the cannula in and suction the fat out. We did Steve's abdomen and love handles. You'll see Steve in just a second.
Okay. So let me see. They're just like big needles?
Big needles,
And what do you
yes.
do, just put a Sears shopping back here on the end of it? Or?
More or less, yeah. Tubing attached to a suction device, absolutely.
Cool.
And it suctions the fat right out. Two tiny
cool.
stitches in each incision and you're done.
It's pretty cool.
It's
It
nice.
doesn't leave any scars. Or...
Tiny, tiny scars,
Tiny
especially with tiny tubes like this. The scars are minimal.
Cool. All right,
So,
well,
yeah.
where is he? Let's look at the before and after photos. There's Steve when he says he was really fat, which makes me mad. Here he is now. That's Steve just loving himself, which is great. Patient number 2 is Tracy O'Driscoll. Tell us about Tracy and her brow lift, facelift, and full face laser.
Well, Tracy had what I call full facial rejuvenation. Essentially, like you said, a brow lift, eyelid surgery, facelift, laser, and also lip implants.
Oh.
And she's relatively young, but we did many procedures on her, but this combination of procedures, I think, really rejuvenated her entire face, and I think you'll see the difference.
What, lip implants? I never heard about that. What's
Yeah.
that about?
Well, as time goes on, the lips thin out, and you
Right.
can put either fat in or permanent implants, and she has these permanent implants.
silicone?
Little tubes. No, they're made of Gore-Tex material.
Oh.
And they fill the lips. They're not huge, but they're modest, but that's what most of my patients want, kind of a modest increase.
That's cool. Let's
Yeah.
look at the before and after photos. Woo, look at the difference there. Tracy, come on out. It just makes such an amazing difference, doesn't it? It's
And
so great.
And I think if you looked at Tracy and hadn't seen the befores, you really would know she had plastic surgery. I think
No.
she just looks like an attractive young
Right.
woman at
She
this
doesn't
point.
look anything like that old lady she used to be. Which is so great. How great is that? Patient number 3 is David Jordan. Tell us about his nose job, chin implant, and cheek job.
Well, David had a little overdeveloped nose and underdeveloped chin. And what we did was reduce the nose somewhat, augment the chin, and take fat out of the cheeks, which gives a much more masculine look. And I think you can tell the difference in the before and afters. When you have that receding chin, it's a little less of a masculine look. So we've achieved, I think, a much better look to balance his face overall.
Well, let's show the before and after photos here. There he is before, I'm assuming. And there he is after. Wow. David, come on out. Great. Patient number 4 is Christina Jensen. Tell us about her breast implants.
Well, Christina Jensen was at one time a D cup, and then over time she shrunk down to a B cup, but she wanted to be a D again. So we put some saline breast implants in, and she's only, I think, 7 to 10 days after surgery right now. It was just done last week, so she's doing beautifully.
Let's see the before and after photos. I don't know how they're good. Chris, you can see the difference there. Christina, come on out. Now we have a special guest who has done it all. Phyllis Diller. Thank you. Come and tell us everything. Yeah, you know
Everything?
him? Did he do this?
No,
he's not your
no.
Let's go through the entire laundry list of the procedures you've had done, Phyllis.
Oh, well, everything. I mean, start at the top and go to the toes. I had a complete face.
No, you're the first, celebrity or famous person that ever really, admitted to it or talked about it.
Oh, well, anybody. I mean, even just people, lay people, in the old sense of the word. I mean, they'd go away and then come back 2 weeks later and say I had a long rest. But I had a complete facelift first, and a nose job, and neck, everything. And the little teeny stitches were around the eyes, and then the medium stitches were around the ears, and the ones back here with the neck, rope.
We're going to go to commercial and come back and hear more about it, because I understand you wore a gorilla mask after you had your surgery. We want to hear about that when we come back. you're in the LA area and want to see my show, call 1-800-485-6885. Now, Phyllis, tell me about, why did you wear a gorilla mask after surgery?
Well, when I went to get the stitches out, I thought rather than, you know, you look like a piece of meat, and everything is just awful, and everybody assumes that somebody beat you up, like your husband.
Right.
Beat you up, you know.
Right.
And so I have this ape mask, but the most fun was in the car. People look in the car and they see an ape sitting there, you know. And then when you go in the office, it's nice because a lot of people sneak in all wrapped up, but I thought the ape mask worked.
That kind of kept you undercover, right? So
Right.
nobody would
Well,
notice anything weird.
Well, you know, if you want to have... Get hurt. Listen, if you want to have fun, go to one of those joke stores and buy some jokes and make people laugh because it makes you feel good. You know how that is. And you wear the ape mask someplace and people, they don't understand.
You look so great, though. You did amazing.
I've had everything, you know.
Well, me too.
Okay.
You look great. Let's talk about you, Steve, right? Now, you had a big old gut, or you thought you did, and tell us about, so you went, because...
Yeah, I was always into working out, etc., and I had gotten into a motorcycle accident. And while you can still work out with weights or whatever have you, the fat just piles on and piles on. And so I thought plastic surgery was the way to go, since I wasn't physically able to do anything else.
Right. What about now?
I still work out. The weight still doesn't come off as easy as it used to, and if I ever put it back on,
But you
I'd
are
go right
loving
back.
your body, aren't you? You feel so good. You just feel so good, don't you?
No, I absolutely.
great.
When you look in the mirror, you know, if you like the image that's reflected, not that you have to love yourself necessarily.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do. That's right. That's right.
That's part of it.
Yeah, right. No, but you know, if you can portray a good positive image towards yourself,
Right.
you feel better inside.
Right.
So you make everybody else better on the outside.
And your face stuff is amazing. What a great, you know, and looking at you, you would never know that you've even
like
had
that
any.
before,
No, you wouldn't know that you had any plastic surgery. It's just so great. How is it making you feel?
I feel more like myself. I think the image that I had beforehand just didn't match with how I felt. And it was a practical decision for me. I had decided to make a career change. And as part of that, sort of going down a checklist. You get out your resume and you take a look at that, and then you look at your appearance. And after working with horses my whole life and being out in the wind and the sun and the rain, and, you know, it was...
I bet you're wearing sunscreen now,
I'm
aren't
wearing
you?
sunscreen now. You bet. And the point for me wasn't to try and look 19 again. I wasn't interested in that.
Yeah.
I think women look more attractive as they get older. You can have more elegance and more character. I really do think that. But as you mature, the lines that make you look tired and the worn look from sun damage, and that doesn't necessarily reflect who you are, and it's not an essential part of looking older. I want to look my age, but I don't want to look tired.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you look great.
Thank you.
And David, you thought you looked too ethnic, right?
Well, with the career I was going for, which was in the acting industry.
Yeah, there's no Jews doing that.
Oh, I know. Well, I mean, even on your old show, when I auditioned, they said you were too ethnic.
They said you were too ethnic and you
For your
auditioned for
show.
my show?
Yeah.
Well, you hardly look Jewish at all now. Congratulations. No, now you look Puerto Rican. It's awesome. It's very good. Did it change you, though? Give you more confidence?
It gave me a lot more confidence. I think it turned into a more inner thing, where when I went on auditions and stuff, it really helped. I booked a soap opera right after, which I still find myself on, and
good for you.
commercials,
What's that?
and it really gave me the confidence and the boost I needed. I had a real low self-image, and now sky's the limit, and it's just really, really helped.
Good for you. You look great.
Thank you. Thank
It's
you.
a shocking change, too.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tell us about your breasts.
I had gone up and down in breast size since about 18 due to exercise. I was a personal trainer for 2 years, and from over 7 years of jogging, my breast tissue, I broke it down. I was a B, and I was originally a D, so I wanted my original state back, and that's what I did.
How are you feeling about it? Just
Great. I love them.
Yeah, I can tell by the way you walk. You're feeling really good about
The
yourself.
confidence that you lose when you do. I mean, if you've been a larger and you go down to a smaller size, I mean, trying on clothes, bra shopping, anything makes you look in the mirror and it's a little bit different.
Your boobs definitely deflate the older you get, don't they?
They begin to drop a little, yeah.
So it's good to pump them back up. You look great.
Thank you.
We're happy for you. I want to thank Dr. Frank Ryan and all of you patients, the fabulously gorgeous Phyllis Diller. Make sure you check out her movie, A Bug's Life. Thank you all very much.
Oh, it'll be fine. It's the same year after year. They come, they eat, they leave. That's our lot in life. It's not a lot, but it's our life.
On the next Roseanne show, actors Ossie Davis and Ruby Dee. Then, be a part of the Honduras relief effort.
I'm so excited about my next guest. I heard her CD. I had to introduce her to you. She's from West Africa, and she is one hip chick. Here to perform the Jimi Hendrix classic, Voodoo Child, please welcome Angelique Kidjo.
I didn't mean to take all your sweet time. Make it up to you one of these days. I didn't mean to take all your sweet time. Make it back to you one of these days. If I don't meet you again in this world, then I see you in the next one. Mikeleje, Fotum Viamo, Mikeleje, Fotum Wamo.
Thank you very much. It's so great. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks a lot.
I wanted to ask you where in West Africa you're from.
I'm from Benin. It's on west coast of Africa between Nigeria and Togo.
And isn't this like Jimi Hendrix is like a big guy over there?
Oh, he was a big guy because my brother used to listen to Jimi Hendrix all the day and with Carlos Santana. So when I was a little girl, I grew up listening over and over Jimi Hendrix and Carlos Santana. And then sometime I just jump in the middle of the house and I pretend playing the guitar and screaming all around and everybody walking around like, shut up, shut up.
Well, what's the significance of you singing this song, Voodoo Child? Because
for me, singing Voodoo Child is just giving a tribute to Jimi Hendrix and giving an answer, even if it's very late after his death. Because voodoo comes from my country. Most of the time, people in the Western world, they don't understand what voodoo
does come from the place you're from.
It comes from my country. And being a black star of rock and roll in the 70s and claiming being a voodoo child demanded a lot of courage from him. And for me, not giving an answer means that his statements stay for nothing. So for me, it's just like, yeah, buddy, you were right saying you were a voodoo child because there's nothing wrong about that.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about voodoo and how it's... People think it's like some really weird thing, but you want to set us straight?
Yeah, I want to set it straight because people think that the voodoo religion have to deal with a devil thing, and it's not, because voodoo religion is basically how we live our life in the nature, how we are linked to the nature. We have to respect nature for nature to take us a long way, and we have to have respect for lives in general. People always see the sacrifice when they do voodoo religion because they don't see that the chicken they buy in the supermarket or the meat they buy in the supermarket, they have been killed in a way. We live close to the nature and we kill and we eat because we need to eat and we need to feed the god and goddesses. And we believe in voodoo religion that God and goddesses live with us. We don't pretend not knowing the God. We have God of lightning. We can visualize lightning. We have God of wind. We can feel the wind. We have goddess of water. We can see the water. And we have all the things that are part of our life that we go on underneath for, because without them, we won't be nothing.
Now, you were going to give me a blessing, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited.
I called my mother because I wanted her to remind me a little bit how to do things, and I forgot one of the most important things she told me. Don't do the blessing with a glass because it doesn't belong to the ground. It have to be something that had been taken from the ground, from the nature. So I asked somebody to give me a calabash or something made with sand.
Oh.
So
looks like sand.
That make with the sand. So we have to, it's just the water, simple water that I drink, if you want to drink a little bit.
Okay.
And we put a little bit on the floor for the ancestors that are not here with us no more, but still watching over us.
Right.
So I will do it. I will do it in my language, in English for everybody. I drink a little bit?
Yes, I do.
It helps. So a little bit here.
That's for the ancestors.
O javalu hebi so o javalu me hole bi sese mi bioda gbe no Roseanne mi bioda gbe no me bi sese de rafio fifa anything alafia anything. I say I'm greeting the earth. I'm greeting all the God and all the things that make today happen for everybody to be awake and be alive today. And I'm greeting the God of lightning and thunder. And I'm greeting all the ancestors. Blessing for everybody that comes here today. Blessing for you.
Nice.
Peace, health, and wealth for everybody.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Give me a big hug.
John Denver's classic holiday album, Rocky Mountain Christmas, now includes 5 bonus tracks featuring the previously unreleased White Christmas on RCA CDs and cassettes.
Constipation. You feel bloated, not like yourself.
Fibercon relieves bloating constipation.
I'm myself again.
Fibercon. Be regular. Be yourself.
I would like to thank all of my guests today, and thank you at home for watching. Thank you for being here, and happy pie.
Hysterectomy is one of the most feared words in the English language. Critics say some doctors are too quick to take action at the least sign of trouble. Tomorrow, look inside the different types of surgery, the possible side effects, and the alternatives that are available. Learn what women say about hysterectomy on Oprah. Tomorrow at 4, followed by News 8 at 5.
From W.